Fantasia for the Mega Drive is an atrocity. Just a terrible game with terrible controls and terrible stage design. But it's absolutely fascinating. Fantasia the film was put on a very high pedestal by the late Walt Disney. Often regarded as his masterpiece, the license to the film was closely guarded so that adaptations could never be made. Little did young Roy Disney know, Sega were given the license to Fantasia by accident after the success of Castle of Illusion. Once Roy caught wind of this, the game was actually recalled, which is honestly quite surprising because second-hand copies of Fantasia go for a lot less than second-hand copies of Castle of Illusion, let me tell you. So what about the game? Well, in a weird turn of events, Sega got Infogrames to develop Fantasia instead of the in-house team behind Castle of Illusion. This was because development on the title was extremely limited, thanks to Sega deciding the game needed to be out close to the launch of the VHS release of Fantasia. This was quite important because it was actually the first time Fantasia was released on home video. The game basically cribs most of its aesthetics from the Sorcerer's Apprentice short, and why wouldn't it, because that's the only good bit in the entire film. As Mickey, you must explore the various environments based on shorts in the film to get to the end. That's all there really is to it. However, doing that is one of the most frustrating things in the world due to how poorly the stages are designed. They're so boring to navigate through, there's no verticality to them, and you basically just walk and jump over some really narrow platforms whilst being bombarded with way too many enemies. Look at how many enemies there are! And this is set to easy. Who on earth did Infogrames think they were making this for? No Disney-loving child is going to have the patience for this nonsense. Speaking of nonsense, let's talk about the attacking. Mickey can cast spells to defeat enemies, but they're extremely limited, so you'll want to save them for situations when you're really in danger. So what else do you have, because it sure as hell isn't very obvious from Mickey's animations? Believe it or not, you can actually Bop Bounce like in Castle of Illusion, but you have to hold down while you're in the air, and there's no change in animation to signify that you're doing it. It also feels really awkward to pull off. Castle of Illusion definitely had the right idea in making this action just another press of the jump button while you're in the air. Fantasia is an absolute mess of a game that I was convinced must have come out before Castle of Illusion, but nope, it came out a full year after and was pretty much greenlit thanks to the success of Castle of Illusion. But the fact that it stands as the only adaptation of Fantasia out there, and it was even recalled, makes it a fascinating bit of Sega history that deserves to be watched and not played, because actually playing it is like being given a university lecture on how not to make a platformer.